Hello people, this is Ryder here to review the Ohsama Sentai KingOhger DX Ohger CrownLance. I was struggling to read that for some reason. Anyways, this is the traditional power-up item of the series, to which allows the Hustly siblings to obtain... I don't know, the only thing I got out of it is that it just allows them control of King Caucasus Castle. Obviously, pictured right here is an illustration of King KingOhger, and, you know, just in the traditional KingOhger packaging. Obviously, we have the Ohger CrownLance here. Nice crediting of the voice actor. If we zoom in like so, tells you can remove the crown and such. The top has our mechs, or mech combinations. So, King Caucasus Kabuto, Extreme KingOhger for some reason, and then God KingOhger. The bottom just has the length of the Ohger CrownLance, to which it's 575 millimeters. This is going to spoil the next reviews. This has... This just says to basically just shows you transforming with the crown. I don't like that they've been making the power-ups illustrations. This just advertises the Shoe God Soul series. So this is Candy Toy 1, and then this is Gashapon 2. And then last but not least, we have just, again, everything I've already stated. Transformation, max summonings, and just some other thing advertising about an insect switch game, even though none of the shoe gods are in that. And also this just warnings and such. This was indeed too long. So here are the contents. Obviously we have the Ohger CrownLance. No. I should have looked at the contents. Well, technically the whole thing together is the Ohger CrownLance, but like, this thing itself is, I think, just the Ohger crown. Unless it's called like... I don't know what the main land is called. It's not Shoe God, that's the entire... I don't know, I don't watch KingOhger. And here's the lance, to which we will take a look at first, because this is... as the lens are stuck. This part is honestly disappointing, because it's like, this thing actually kind of had potential, because I actually do like the look of the lance. It's actually cool that they did a lance, because it's... The last lance toy they've done was the banana spear. That thing was puny. This thing is like an actually like nice size for like a lance, and like, you know, it's not that damaging and such. However, like, as you can tell, like, as just like me lifting this up and such, it's just a piece of plastic. This thing does not have sounds on its own, because like, it has a trigger, but that's, as you can tell, it has a peg coming out, and you're gonna be like, well, you can see a battery compartment clearly right here, so this thing clearly has sounds. No, it's because in a weird case they actually reused the mold. What mold exactly? The Ryukono Geki. So, yeah. This is the quickest we've had a mold reuse in, like, just in Toku in general, and not in general, but like just a recency. Because you can tell from the battery compartment right here, obviously they just tried their best to cover it up. Well, that's funny, because that means KingOhger had 2 mold reuses, but retailing. But as you can see right here, this is where the battery compartment originally was, to which they still kept for some reason. But like, other than that, like, these two are like, actually, I get why they probably decided to use the Ryukono mold, just because it's still fairly long. It's like, it's fairly the same size overall. Like, it's just a bit taller, but like, the Ryukono was already like a good size, so I genuinely don't mind that they reused the mold for this, even though it probably would have been better just to like make an original handle, but I mean, I can't blame them. They're being smart. And we'll get to this already, actually. But to obviously for the crown, this thing's packed with the crown in already. So like the crown, you have to align it a specific way. Because I don't want to do this with the sounds, but like you have to align it a specific way. Because basically you need this button, so it's actually close to this button. So you basically need to align the divots, because there's arrows up here too, just basically telling you to like have it face that way. So like you need this clear clip here to like actually clip in like so. And then this is again the full Ohger CrownLance, which like you can spin it, but you like obviously in the show Gira can freely spin it, but like you can't do that with this toy because obviously just because of how it works, as Ace just keeps falling. And with how this works here, as you can see, this button just basically presses this button. So basically you don't need the button because like it's obviously a lot easier just to press the button up here than like to just rely on this, but it's just, you know, imagination. Okay, but like the reason why I brought this back out is because I forgot to do against size comparison with the Ohger caliber, because I'm not going to be able to showcase it well, but like these are pretty like close to each other. Again, it's basically kind of like the Ryukono Geki. Because that's like, again, it's the same mold, so like that's the only thing you can really compare it to, but this basically, it goes up to, it just goes up to this line here, so yeah. To remove the crown, you're gonna press this back, the button up here, up to the crystal and slide out like so. So here we have the Ohger crown, to which this is actually pretty cool overall, to have the crown as an actual transformation item. I really like that idea. And I like the look of the crown. It's pretty simplistic and such. It's pretty simplistic. It honestly actually, I think it is supposed to look like a castle in a way too. But as you can see right here, we have 6 gems representing each member. So obviously we have red, yellow, to which the yellow looks very metallic. Or they all do in a way. Purple, black, white, and blue. And only red is the only pressable. Red is pressable. White, you can, but you're not supposed to. And the others are stationary. I kind of would have liked if they made white the eject button instead of just having this random button here, but I get that there's already so much going on within this section internally. So here's the pull tab. This thing, I think, has 2 cell batteries, and obviously this is the entire spinning mechanism. This is how it locks in. Same with up here. No, this is the button for it to know it's on the lance. These are the spinning mechanisms and such, and the speakers are above you all. So again, pull the pull tab. We have a red LED, to which Pressing this doesn't do anything. You can put it on the Ohger CrownLance. If I didn't press the right button. I forgot. This is a combination of 2 buttons. You need to press this button, and I think this? Yeah, so it's a combination of the top and bottom buttons. But, if we were to pull it out and pretend that it's on the Ohger CrownLance, it still has the same announcement. But anyways, to start the transformation, you want to press the red jewel in the center. So then you get the transformation standby, to which you want to press this button now in the back. So there we have the transformation of... Sadly, it's only stuck to KingOhger Ohger. It kind of sucks there's no way of replicating KingOhger Ohger, because basically the only way they made them distinctive is just that they got rid of that announcement, which is kind of unfortunate. Again, you can do it through sound editing, but it's like not even the show acknowledges it. Anyways, just to say, this is the reset button. I kind of wish it wasn't here, but yeah, I really like how the transformation process works, just because you activate the crown like so, and then you set it down on your head, because that's why I think the button up here is pretty smart. Yes, it's pretty small for most people's heads, obviously because it's for a weapon, but I like the ability you can do that. Like, I think that's nice. Like, it's just like how the Ultra Eyes, you know, actually activate when you put them up to your eyes and such. But anyways, taking the lance and inserting the crown like so. So again, we get the same announcement, but now with that insertion sound. And then if we press the trigger button, we have up to 3 attack sounds. And I apologize if the red LEDs coming out was really yellowish. Yeah, I apologize about that. But anyways, one of the main gimmicks of the Ohger CrownLance is spinning the crown to actually utilize the abilities of the shoe gods. So there's 4 sound sets that we're gonna go through. To which, obviously, to start that, we need to basically twist the crown. So this is the standby for it, and then it will conclude once we spin it all the way. This thing doesn't exactly lock in all the time. I'm not going to do it again because then it's going to go back. So as you heard, the first announcement is KingOhger. So this will mean that we will cycle through all 11 shoe gods or 10. So I think that's all of them, to which the final sound will always be a finisher comprising of all of the shoe gods. Which I think is pretty cool. And I'll just show you don't necessarily need to spin it all the way, because you can just put it back into position. So now we're at Guardian Weapons, so that will be the four Guardian Weapons. those two are really interesting just to hear, or technically the only two Shogots, Guardian weapons that actually got announcements from both voices. So I think that's pretty neat. Next up. So that's what happens when you spin it too quickly. And obviously I'll just show that you don't need to like press the... You don't need to press the trigger, obviously. So these are the 3 Legend Shoe Gods plus Tarantula. God Tarantula. Because I guess he's a Legend Shoe God. And I like how they have to differentiate him from Kumo. Last but not least, this one is the least with 3 sounds. So this one's interesting because it's a combination of basically is King Caucasus Kabuto technically a Legend Shoe God? I guess. And a Guardian weapon. That one honestly could go for, or could honestly pass as a finisher. Well, it is a finisher, but I generally think it sounds more like, that freezing sounds more like a finisher. But that one basically is it. So last but not least, we actually do have our mech summoning sounds, to which if we press the red jewel again, here's the standby for King Caucasus Kabuto, to which you just want to press the trigger. I apologize for constantly wanting to say capital. I'm combining capital and Kabuto, but this one's King Caucasus Castle. And basically, the attacks here are based off of what you were last on. So if you were on a like Shoe God cycle, it does work. Like technically, if you, for the next one, you would want to be in KingOhger, but we're not going to do that. Because this one's the odd, as I alluded to before, this one's the oddest inclusion, but I mean, it's cool. So here we have the traditional KingOhger standby, which is definitely jarring. Just press the trigger. So there's the transformation jingle for Extreme KingOhger. I really like it overall. I like how they got the voice for Sparta Kuminosa's stuff just to like say a quick extreme. I kind of wish he was more present, but I mean, he's least present like at that point, just to like unify the like combination of the two. But I find it weird it's the second sound, and also just, why does Extreme KingOhger get a jingle but not Legend KingOhger? But obviously this last one will make a lot of sense. So obviously this is an entire like roll call of all the Shoe Gods, which is Pretty neat. Press the trigger. And there we have the transformation of God KingOhger, to which I think could have done better. Nothing beats Extreme KingOhger, to the point when this debuted in the show, they messed up badly and like used so they had the vocals of God KingOhger, but they used the instrumentals of Extreme KingOhger, so it was like this weird mismatch of cause it throws you off because you're hearing obviously the God KingOhger jingle is going off of that melody, but then it's going off, but then you're hearing the melody of Extreme KingOhger with it, and it's a mess to your ears. I would like to extract or I guess not. Oh, technically it is extracting, but I guess what's the word? No. I forgot the word. But yeah, that's basically it. Obviously you can remove the crown, but and I should probably say, you can't move the crown in any position you want, because obviously as you can see here, there's also divots here specifically for this. So yeah, it specifically has to be in this position. Also, I guess I forgot to say this too. I find it weird that you do everything behind the actual lance, because I'm surprised that this is not the front of the lance. This is the front, obviously, because that's where the trigger is. Because yes, they do obviously when they're summoning shoe gods, obviously they hold it from here, but it's just it's just, I don't know, it's definitely kind of weird handling it, but I still don't know the word I'm trying to go for. But yeah, my thoughts overall on the Ohger CrownLance is that it's pretty good. It's a fun power-up form item and such. Again, I think a lot of things about it are very innovative, just being able to wear the transformation device is cool. Yes, it'll fall off your head, but that's why you catch it. And also, it's just, I really like the lance. The lance is cool. That's kind of my only disappointing thing about this. I kind of wish the lance actually did something, but then I don't know, because I just don't like that it's just a long piece of plastic. it just kind of sucks. I feel like that was technically their way of basically having that length, is just by not really doing anything with it and such. But other than that, I think the sounds for the most part are pretty fun and such, and just spinning the crown around, being able to go through all 23 shoe gods. 7, 9 plus 20. I think it's 20 shoe gods. I think that I think it's always cool when these items do that. Just accommodate all the mechs within one toy. Just because sometimes we don't get items that actually do call out all of the associating mechs, and it's cool that this wasn't because I think we were mostly expecting this to be locked up within the memorial edition of this thing, to which obviously it's going to be, but I like that there was at least a retail way of getting the other shoe gods and such. Other than that, there's not really anything missing that I guess I would have wanted out of this toy. I think it kind of does everything it needs to do. I just, again, find the inclusion of Extreme KingOhger to be weird, because I'm glad it's in the toy at least, because again, that would have been a thing we would have expected in a Memorial Edition Ohger Caliber, but I mean, if there's like if they had to find any means of like adding that sound, then like I'm all for it. But I feel like that's kind of my thought. I feel like that's how I am basically with this toy. It's like, okay, this is kind of a weird inclusion, but if this is the only way of doing it, then like, alright. It kind of reminds me of like with Kyuranger, with how like, you know, the Roost Wader and the Ho-Oh Blade and Shield randomly had those like extra sounds. Like the Roost Wader having extra Q-Tamas and such. It's like, it's a weird inclusion, but it's like, if this is the only way we're gonna get these sounds, I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, alright. Obviously, like, um, you can say this thing doesn't do as much. Well, I mean, like, I feel like all the KingOhger toys are like, kind of on par with each other. It's just like, I think this one, is this one more expensive than the Ohger caliber? I feel like they might be the same price. I feel like this one might be like $10 more just because of length. But like other than that, like, you know, if you're a fan of KingOhger, if you like power-up items, or you just like King Kuwagata Ohger or King O Kuwagata Ohger, I definitely prefer that one. Yeah, go for this. Like, this is not a bad toy overall. Like, obviously, if you're not, I don't want to say stuck up, but if you're obviously cautiously optimistic about a Memorial Edition happening, yeah, sure, hold out for that. I personally wouldn't bother. I would probably only for the crown, honestly. But like, obviously, there's a reason why it's downsized when it's in the lance. But yeah, I don't really have much. Like, I think it's a fine toy, and like, I'm still just trying to figure out the word I'm trying to isolate. That's the word, isolate. Yeah, like we're gonna isolate like God King Ohger's like vocals and then put it behind. I mean, we can recreate it basically, but that's the word, isolate. And obviously, I'm gonna state this. This will most likely be my last KingOhger video, because I'm not getting any of the Curator stuff. Just because I never had any Curator things, DX things, and also it's just because with the King Gallery caliber, I might as well just get the Memorial Edition if I'm picking up the Memorial line for Curator. And I'm disappointed with the full action version of Kyurhyugen. So, the only thing that will actually make me cover KingOhger again will most likely be the Versus movie. The potential, or I wouldn't say Versus movie because it can be something else. Basically, the Vista Next. If the Dawn Brothers, if there is a Dawn Brothers Versus movie, and if somehow they do another sword pack in, then yeah, I'm up for it and such. But yeah, I think KingOhger as a line, I can't really talk about it much, sorry. But I think KingOhger was, in the roleplay half, I think it was fine. There was a bunch of ups and downs. I think what I can at least say, I'm at least glad there was a fourth quarter. At least KingOhger got a fourth quarter, even if it's just Curator. Because, like, I think the King Galber caliber is a fun toy. Definitely. I think the sounds are fun. It's just a weird anomaly thing, because it's just like they couldn't even get the voice back for the equipment for Curator. So you just have the voice of KingOhger just saying King, and then just like there's just a lot of weird audio splicing. But for the original compositions they did for the King Galber caliber, those are fantastic. So like I would want, like, I'm trying to like hold back on like getting it because, you know, the potential of the Memorial Edition. Because then I can get those sounds in higher quality. But other than that, like, you know, I think KingOhger's toy line was fine. Obviously, I don't get the mechs because I don't care for the mechs. So, um, yeah, it was a fine line. And the Shoe God souls were interesting. And for like a non, or they were a collectible, but they weren't a gimmick. Because I think it would have been interesting to see those as a gimmick for sure. But yeah, that'll have to do this review. This is Ryder now with you. This is Ryder now with you people. Isolate yourselves.